All right, everybody, and welcome back to Live 360. I know it's been a little while. We took a little break for Thanksgiving, Christmas, hectic through those times. We want to make sure everybody's hanging out with their family, and it's probably hard to hop on and catch a show during all that time. But we're back for our January session, and we have a big artist today. We have Matt Dean with us in the studio. I'm super excited about it. I love his shirt, as you can tell. I love wearing it all around town. If you see me, I probably got it on. So stick around, hang out, and we'll have Matt Dean with us here shortly. All right, Matt. The day has come.
It's here.
I'm glad you're here, bro. We've been trying to set this up for a while.
Oh yeah.
And Christmas, Thanksgiving's always been always tough. But I'm glad to have you here, man. You're one of my favorite artists in the area.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It really does.
For sure, man. Because you can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll send you out even when you first started coming out, man. I always liked your stuff. I always liked the vibe that you bring with that kind of old school country. And what you add to it. So wanted to bring you on, man, and talk about some of the things that led up to this point.
Yeah.
So some of the things like if you will, tell us some of your inspirations kind of for playing.
Well, it depends on what you're defining as inspiration. So I got into this because I love crowds. I've always loved being around crowds. And, when I was in high school, it was football crowds. And so I always wanted to be the first one out of the tunnel and always wanted to just feel like the roar of the crowd or whatever it is. And obviously football dreams didn't pan out. And so I get to college, I'm like, what can I do to be around a bunch of people? And I knew I'd sang once upon a time, so I was like, we'll give that a go. But my inspiration is really just crowds. I love crowds.
Come on, man. And so you like just having that feel of just the crowd there cheering you, all that kind of stuff. I can definitely understand that.
It's electric, man.
Tell me before all that, what age did you get started?
So I've been singing pretty much all my life. I've never not been singing. But as far as shows and stuff, I really just got started as a sophomore in college.
Did you how old were you about when you first picked up a guitar and was like, you know what, I can kind of play this thing a little bit?
I had just turned 19, I believe, when I first picked up a guitar and tried to learn it. My guitarist Mason, who you've met before, he's the one that kind of got me started on my first couple chords. And started in my 20s, I kind of got a little bit better, got my first guitar, and then the next year after that, we started doing shows.
Come on. What was your first show?
My first show ever was actually, it's not around anymore. It's where Tailgaters is. It was My Rose.
My Rose. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. So okay, started playing about 19, started playing guitar, started singing, I'm assuming before that.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of at least around the house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What made you want to go to that older style of country that you are so good at?
Man, so I've got my granddad, rest in peace, but he kind of was a big old country guy. He was my very first song I ever heard, very first country song I remember hearing is Hello Darling by Conway Twitty in the back of his truck. And he was a big Keith Whitley guy, which he got me on Keith Whitley.
I know you like Keith Whitley.
Oh, yeah. Love that Keith Whitley. But, George Jones and Merle Haggard and all them, man, they have songs that just kind of relate to you in a sense, especially when you're feeling blue or you're feeling excited. And they have a way of putting it in a way to where, I guess, the best way to put it is they put it in a way where, you can still be happy, but they're telling their story about what's going on in their life. And I've always loved that kind of contrast right there.
Now, do you feel like, and I say this loosely, don't take offense to this when I say this.
No.
But do you feel like an old soul?
Absolutely.
Kind of feel like you feel that?
Absolutely.
Because it's crazy with you being so young, man. And I've heard all those country songs, man. I grew up, around that kind of stuff. But, seeing you, feel it. It's almost like you feel it. And it's such an early, even back then when you first started playing, that's really crazy. So you do feel like kind of an old soul.
Oh, absolutely. I was definitely born in the wrong generation. Absolutely.
I could tell. And we've linked up on a couple occasions at the house and kind of was going over some music. And you're stretching my brain. I'm like, hey, this one by Keith Whitley or this one by George Jones. I'm like, yeah, got to go back in my archives to find that. So, but that's awesome, man. And so you started, you had your first show about 20, you said, right?
Yeah.
At My Rose. So how many shows about were you doing maybe in that year, maybe in 2020? You remember how many shows you did?
See, it was roughly 2 a month because I had no clue how scheduling worked. Honestly, Mason was doing most of my booking then, because I was still trying to learn how to make connections and making a set list. And I couldn't play guitar that good yet, and so I was relying on two other people to help me, get out and do these shows. And so I wasn't quite doing solo gigs yet, and so I wasn't being able to book as much. So we'd probably get 2 or 3. But honestly, what helped not long after that, that's when we kind of formed the band. And one of our lead guys now, he was our drummer at the time. And we had
So you formed the band in 2020 as well?
Well, in my 20s, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you started playing in your 20s. I'm sorry. I was thinking 2020. That was a bad year for me. But anyway, so you started in your 20s roughly.
Yeah.
And you started My Rose, had a couple gigs a month acoustically. Mm-hmm. Are you with you and
Yeah. So it's just kind of acoustic. So it was, I was the acoustic, and then Mason would have an acoustic that he'd play sometimes. Okay. And then Greg would always play his electric.
And how many shows did it take for y'all to decide, you know what, we got something going, let's go ahead and turn this to a band gig?
Honestly, it was probably after our third or fourth one. We played Stumble Out one night for the very first time, and somebody said, y'all need to form a band. Y'all would sound, with the songs that y'all are playing, it would sound so good if y'all were able to form a band.
Come on, man.
And so
they were right. And so you were, you were in college around that time as well, right? So take me back to what it felt like, or how hard it was, or just kind of what was going on in your mind and life at the time, doing gigs and balancing a college career.
If anybody's going to be listening that's in college and doing, music, but you'll understand. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody. If I wish I would have found music, before I went to college, I wish I would have had that going already, because I would have just taken it and ran with it. College does, especially when you made a commitment, I'm going to finish this degree. You're in that mindset of, all right, I got to do what I got to do to get out of here so I can chase this dream. And there's people, that get out of college, and honestly, it was not the worst thing to get out of college and, just chase it immediately. But I made a promise to my parents that I was going to finish, and, it's tough, to say the least, because you got all these classes, and I mean, if you've been in this college setting before, it's they expect you to have all their time,
Kudos to you for doing that, man, because that's very honest of you to even say, man, look, if I found this before college, I'd have just ran, and that's kudos to getting in there. And I'm sure your parents probably had a lot to do with kind of encouraging you to.
They were definitely encouraging me to stay, and do college. But they also, one of their things is they don't want to hinder me to chase my dream. They just want to make sure that I'm having the safest route possible.
I'm sure they told you, you got both. So now you got that degree, you can chase your dream. And it almost makes chasing your dream a little bit, I don't know if easier is the word, but more comfortable. Because, if something doesn't pan out,
absolutely,
you got a degree, a bachelor's, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's a big
4-year
deal,
bachelor's
bro. And you just graduated.
I did in November.
Come on, bro.
Yes,
that's a big deal, man. If I wish we had an applause button, I'd hit that real quick and just give you a round of applause, because that's huge, man. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
And so now you can do that. You got your degree. You're chasing your dreams. You got the band. So now, so tell me who's in the band. Who's all you got?
So we got Mason, like we mentioned before. He is my rhythm guy, and honestly, we've been having. His work schedule's kind of been a little bit tougher as of recently, and so there's gigs he can make, gigs he can't make, and so when he's not able to do it, our old bass player John, he'll play bass, but he'll also fill in on rhythm. John Cook, he's in the band. We also have a bassist named Kenny who fills in when John's playing guitar. Mr. Kenny Ray, and so we got Mr. Greg Bailey, he's on lead guitar, and Brady Leach, and they'll swap solos. I'm naming everybody. Obviously, not all these guys play with us all the time.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But all of them play very often. The one I'm most, I guess, surprised by is the guy that actually we took on about 2 months ago, and it goes by the name of Peyton Ship. He's our drummer, but he also plays guitar. So that's something I love about
a round of guitar players in there. That's not a bad thing, bro.
No, and they all come from different styles too. So Peyton's more of a blues guy, and Greg, he's more of a hard metal guy. Mason's a hard metal guy, but Brady's, he's kind of a classic rock, kind of hair kind of rock. Mm-hmm. So they all come from different backgrounds, So that, I feel like that kind of makes it more interesting. We have a very versatile group.
That's awesome, bro. And honestly, dude, that's exactly where you need to be. As it's the Matt Dean band, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be there no matter what. So I mean, your name's on the band. So the only way to do it is exactly like that, man. Stacking people around that sometimes their schedule might not align with your schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And you're able to, now you got what I call auxiliary players. It's like, I've been bailed out with my band the same way. Man, this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
can't make it, or even last minute, and you can just make some alterations. So you're already, at the top of the game with all that, man. So that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. And so you get along with these guys pretty well.
Oh, those are some of my closest friends. They really are. Every single one of them. I love them to death. I'd do anything for them. You know what I mean? Those guys, they always have my back, and they always are reliable. They're always at every show. They're always on time. They're always, able to do what they need to do to make sure we have the best show possible. And that's tough because, that's just like you said, there's always conflicting schedules and trying to make sure that you line up everybody. Hey, is everybody good for this date? Everybody good to practice this date? That's tough to do with 5 and 6 people, so.
So do y'all rehearse any?
We try, man. We do try. We'll be good to get a couple practices in here and there, but there's sometimes like it's just so tough, especially certain parts of the year. It's
The
sometimes
practice is at the show.
yeah, like we'll
I've
say
been-
we'll
I'm the
have
same
new
way.
songs we add to the set list, and we'll say, all right, we're just gonna run over it and sound check.
That's you got to do what you got to do. That's exactly right. It's crazy, man. So how long? So when you're 20, what are you? How
I'm
old are you
23 now.
23 now. So 3 years that you've got the acoustic set was going, and then you got the band going, and now you have the band members kind of in a spot where you can kind of use them anywhere you want, and a system. Man, that's a big deal. That's awesome, bro.
And it all, honestly, I feel like it all fell in my lap.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the craziest thing about it. I know I'm blessed to have it, but
I call it favor, bro. That's what I think. I love to see good people, and nice, humble people, and things just start panning out for them and happen for them. And that's what the same comments they kind of make is, man, I don't even know how it all happened. It's just this guy showed up, we started rapping, and that's how it happened, man.
There you go.
We got an awesome band now, so that's awesome, dude. And I really do love watching y'all play. I love what you bring to the table with your vocals, man. It's really is crazy.
I appreciate that, man.
And like you just. The vibrato, man. And one thing is you're growing it's like every show I see you're doing more and more and more. And in my opinion, that's the way to make it, bro. I think you're on your way. So that's
Well, I got to give a little credit to that, to my football mentality, because I'll literally will go back and watch the videos where I'm playing, like film, All right, I could have done this here, I could have done this there, my breathing technique needs to be a little better here. Probably need to drink a little less
you
beer
got
here.
that Tom Brady kind of feel.
Yeah.
And and that's an awesome thing. And that's actually a good idea. That's something I need to start trying to do too. But one thing I remember from seeing you at your first show is that you had a black shirt on and jeans.
That was my go-to look for a while.
Yeah. And then me being, and I always joke around with anybody. There's been
yeah.
several people. Gray Vickers is one of them. That I just, anytime I see them in black shirt and jeans, I always got to say my statement. Hey, bro, this town ain't big enough for 2 people wearing black shirt and jeans.
And that's what you said, man. That's what you said.
And so it's become a joke. Really, with Gray, actually with Gray, I noticed he's kind of been changing up his style sometimes. I'm like, dude, I was just joking. So Gray, if you see this, man, it's just a joke, bro. You wear whatever. It's safe for you, man. Like it's so funny because that's actually all I have basically in my wardrobe. And I'm glad you made this shirt specific for me in black.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And so Katie makes jokes.
I had you in mind because I was like, it's got to go with the fit.
Katie makes jokes because like all my outfits are just different shades of black shirts. So when people see me in black shirt and jeans, I'm like, literally, that's all pretty
You're just
much
like that cartoon, where you got you just got the same outfit, and you're just like, which one today?
It's right. But I've been watching you, man. You've been changing it up a little bit, man.
I have been. They've people like the cowboy hat.
Got the cowboy hat rocking.
I'm not claiming to be a cowboy, but they do like the hat.
Yeah, I've seen you, bro. And you should keep rocking it, man. It fits your vibe very well. But that's awesome, man. Now, I wanted to make sure I threw a joke. And speaking about shirts, it's so funny that I love, I buy a lot of musicians' shirts because I try to support as much live music as I can. Because that goes, I really feel like it goes. So people, like, if you see your people's shows, buy their shirts, get all their stuff. That really helps.
100%.
It goes a long way. I wear it around town, and so I wear it to my shows. And so it's funny because sometimes people, I think actually happened to me last time I played at Claw Daddy's. They kept thinking I was Matt. like, no, I'm just supporting my boy while I'm playing, But it's funny because every time I feel like that I wear this shirt out, I run into you.
Yeah. Well, it's like a calling.
It's like a call. It's like, you feel it when it comes on. It's like, I know where Calvin's gonna be. Do you have like a homing beacon And these
Yeah.
shirts that you put?
Well, see, Mom actually put a tracker in
Yeah.
them. That way I know where everybody is, and
It's
so
so
when they're
funny.
anybody that has a shirt, if you're not at the show, I know where you are.
Yeah.
No, that's a joke.
And
I'm
no,
kidding.
no, but it's funny that you say that because, like, when I have it on, if I ain't running in you, I'm running in your parents.
Yeah.
So kind of, I don't know. No, I'm playing. I'm sure, guys, he doesn't have a tracker in his shirts. You can safely buy Matt Dean shirts. But but I remember one of the few times last year I was at, not a few times at Claudaddy's, but last time I was at Claudaddy's, your mom was there. I had this shirt on. We were kind of talking about the same conversation. I ran to you, had your Elvis deal on.
Oh yeah,
Enox, and just all the time. Anyway, I just think it's hilarious, man. So, Tom, let's talk about your writing journey.
All right.
Let's tell us about kind of what your plans are with putting music out, what you kind of already have kind of going or in the queue. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I have a lot of stuff written. And that's my number one goal for 2026 is to record and release some music because it's been in the arsenal way too long. I've played a couple of them at like shows and then writers round. Like Micah Kennedy hosts that writers round every now and then. I'll play songs there, but honestly, I've had stuff written for longer than I've been doing live music. So I guess in a sense, I always felt like I wanted to do music. Because I have been writing for so long, and it gets better, as the more I do it. But I'm really looking forward this year to recording some of those songs. You write so much, you got to get some of them out to make room for new ideas. And so,
if you don't mind, you don't have to tell us. You can keep it a surprise if you want. You know about how many you have in the queue that you're kind of ready to drop?
Let's see. I probably have a good, 7 or 8, that I probably could take right now and get them done. Money, barring.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so are your originals? Are they kind of just like the same old country vibe that you do on your covers, or what's the vibe kind of around your originals?
So they're different. They're all different. So some of them I wanted to take them more like a Texas rock. A Texas country rock kind of deal. And other ones I wanted to hit that like old country vibe, because I feel like that fits more me, and so just thinking of ideas. And then another one is just, writing down a story that's happened and making a song and whatever vibe it fits, that's where it goes, but I kind of go one or the other. It's either going to be kind of rock based or it's going to be older country.
That's just fine. That's a good variety. If you was to drop an album out with that kind of, I think that'd be awesome, man. Just
Absolutely.
having like a little different, hit on your album there. So you think you're going to be able to drop some in 2026?
I hope so, man. That's the goal. That is the goal. To at least have one or two out by December.
So speaking of 2026, what is if you could take me through kind of your plan, whether it's as a band, as a acoustically, what are just something you want to do? Not even maybe you have on the calendar, but what is some things that you want to try to accomplish other than just writing as the band in 2026?
So with the band, I want to travel again. Like when we first started, we got blessed as a band our first full summer together going to play in the stockyards. And then our next goal was we want to get into Mustang Sally. Well, then we got to go play over at Mustang Sally. And so now I think I want to travel to different states. We've traveled to Texas before, obviously, but Texas and Arkansas is pretty much the only two states we've been to out of state. And I want to travel east to Mississippi and up to Tennessee and maybe up to Oklahoma and play some different places, just meet different crowds, meet new faces. And, even in Louisiana, getting to some different, places over here, getting over to Bossier and getting over to getting down to Lafayette and New Orleans and Baton Rouge and, just kind of being able to travel different places. That's one of my biggest, goals for us.
Music take you on the road. Huh?
Exactly.
How do you guys feel about that? You think that they're all down for like that same mindset?
I think it would be exciting. I think they'd be excited.
So if you were on the road, if y'all were doing that thing, would y'all want to do like some opening gigs? Would y'all want to do like, I'm just talking about, we're talking big. We're talking about dream. Like you want to do big opening. You want to do some bigger shows, bigger places. Are you thinking kind of like, when I say this, I love playing in new places because it's almost like starting over. Like the people don't know you.
Absolutely.
You got to build trust and a following there. So is that kind of what?
Absolutely.
The same kind of thing.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it was. It's kind of starting over, and you're building your following, but you're building it all over the map. It's not all your followers. You have, some people they might have, a bunch of followers, but they're all in one area, and you go somewhere else, somebody doesn't know you. So my biggest thing is I want to go somewhere and make new followers everywhere.
Because that's the thing, man. And I know you played out of state, but a lot of people that kind of play locally a lot, or just getting started, they think when they go play, man, I want to go play in Texas or I want to go play in Arkansas or whatever. They think when they get there, it's going to be a big Texas crowd
Yeah.
and it's all. But man, it's like starting over. I mean, it's
Oh, it
like
is.
you take it back to when you first started here. But at least you have a little bit more experience, under your belt, and a little bit more. But it's the same feeling, man.
Very
You get
much
over
so.
there, and it's like these people are staring at you, and you got to build their trust all over.
I mean,
again.
your parents in the crowd, and that's it.
That's it.
That is it.
So, but that's awesome, man. I love everything about what you got going on, man. Like you're one of my biggest topics that I wanted to bring to the show, man. Just kind of talk about diving into your life, man. Love what you got going on.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us about any gigs maybe that fresh in your head that are coming up?
Oh yeah. So my first one of the year is going to be over at Siesta or at the Yard, and that back part of Siesta, the 24th. I'll be there solo. We're going to have a show on the 20. I have a show on the 28th, the 28th. And then I have a show on the 31st at K&M. 28th. I got to think about where that is.
Hey, look, it happens, bro. When you start stacking on things, it's just they kind of swap around. So I get
But
it.
yeah, and then we're working on February, March, and April. We're still booking throughout the year. But
And what's the easiest way if I wanted to book the Matt Dean band? What's the easiest way to get to do that?
so if you don't have my phone number, then just text in the page at Matt Dean Official, and that's any of them. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
So if they get on the page, they can get to you pretty quick.
Oh yeah, just
getting your book.
Matt Dean Official. You find the page, you see the cowboy hat on there, and
Come on,
just hit message, and I'll answer like that.
come on, man. Well, dude, thank you for coming on the show and hanging out with us.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me again.
Absolutely, man. We got Matt Dean in here hanging out, man. It's gonna be it was a great show. Y'all come if y'all starting at the end. Sometimes people watch YouTube and they scan through. Go back to the beginning, start over, listen to everything that's going on in my boy's life, man. Thank you for coming, hanging out
Hey,
with
thank
us.
y'all for having me.
We're gonna do before we leave the studio. We're gonna do a song Matt Dean wanted to do, "Cover Me Up," and so that's coming up.
That's right.
So y'all stay tuned and hang out with us for a little bit longer.
Thank you.
A heart on the run keeps a hand on the gun. Can't trust anyone. But I was so sure what I needed was more. Tried to shoot out the sun. The days when we raced, we flew off the page. Such damage was done. But I made it through somebody I was meant to see. So girl, leave your boots by the bed. We ain't leaving this room. Someone needs medical help or the magnolias. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to chop wood. So good I make you know you're enough to use it.
Put your fate to the test when I tore off your dress. A Richmond on high. And I sobered up, yeah, I swore off that stuff forever this time.
And the old lovers say I thought it'd be me who helps him get home.
But home was a dream, one that I never seen till you came along.
So girlie, dress out to dry. We ain't leaving this room. To Percy Priest,
someone needs medical help or the magnolias blow. It's cold in this house and I ain't going out to jump wood. So cover me up, know you're enough. So cover me up and know you're enough to use me for good. You cover me up, I know you're enough to use me for good.
Yeah.
That was it.